You know the drill. You've got a question, you pop it into Google, and bam, a perfect little summary pops up right at the top, giving you exactly what you need. It's fast, it's easy. It really does feel like the future. But what happens when that instant answer is wrong, especially when it's about your health? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today.
So this feature has a name, AI Overviews. And according to Google, they're designed to be these helpful and reliable snapshots of information, all powered by some pretty sophisticated AI. The whole idea is to save you the hassle of clicking through a bunch of links, to give you the key info right away. And on paper, that sounds amazing. But the reality? It can get a little messy.
I mean, it's one thing if you're asking about movie trivia or who won the World Series in 1988, but what happens when your questions are more serious? When you're worried about a symptom and you're essentially asking for medical advice? Well, that's where things get complicated and maybe even a little dangerous.
Turns out, we're not the only ones asking these questions. A recent investigation by The Guardian decided to take a really close look at the kind of health advice these AI summaries were giving out. And what they found? Well, it set off some serious alarm bells for doctors and patient groups. The headline finding from their report is, frankly, pretty chilling. In multiple searches, Google's AI overviews gave health information that wasn't just a little off, it was flat out false and dangerously misleading. And we're not talking about minor details here. We're talking about advice that could put people's health in real jeopardy.
To really get a handle on the scale of this problem, we need to look at the actual examples the investigators found. So let's open up the case files and see what happens when an AI tries to play doctor and gets it wrong. We'll start with a really serious one. Okay, so our first case file is about pancreatic cancer. This is obviously one of the most serious diagnoses anyone can get. And when patients and their families are searching for information online, they are desperate for answers they can trust. So in this instance, the AI overview told patients to avoid high-fat foods. Simple enough, right? Except according to medical experts, that is the exact opposite of what they need. Patients with pancreatic cancer often lose a dangerous amount of weight, and they actually need high-calorie, high-fat diets just to stay strong enough for treatment. The AI got it 100% backward. And don't just take my word for it. Anna Jewell from Pancreatic Cancer UK called this advice really dangerous. She said following it could literally jeopardize a person's ability to be well enough to even have treatments like chemotherapy or surgery. This isn't just a mistake, it has potentially life and death consequences. Okay, next up, let's look at a search that millions of women probably make every year. They're looking for information about symptoms and tests for different kinds of cancer. Getting this stuff right is absolutely crucial for early detection. So in this case, the AI summary made another huge error. It said that a pap test is used to detect vaginal cancer, but experts immediately flagged this as, and I'm quoting here, completely wrong information. A pap test, or a pap smear, is a screening tool for cervical cancer, not vaginal cancer. They're two different things. And here's why that's so incredibly dangerous. Athena Lamnisos from the Eve Appeal Charities spelled it out. A woman who's having symptoms of vaginal cancer might see her recent pap test was clear and think, oh, I'm fine. She might ignore her symptoms, delaying a diagnosis for a completely different condition, a delay that could cost her her life. All right, this last case file shows us a totally different kind of AI error. This one isn't just about being factually wrong, it's about giving information that's so incomplete it becomes dangerous. This time, it's about liver disease and blood tests. When asked about the normal range for liver blood tests, the AI just spat out a huge wall of numbers with almost zero context. But here's the thing, a normal range isn't some universal constant. It changes, sometimes a lot, based on your age, your sex, your ethnicity, a whole bunch of factors. Without that context, the numbers are basically useless. And Pamela Healy from the British Liver Trust explains exactly why this is so risky. She says someone with serious liver disease could look at their own test results, compare them to the AI's generic numbers, and wrongly think everything's okay. They might skip a crucial follow-up with their doctor, all because of some bad, context-free data. So, after an investigation like this comes out, naturally, everyone looks to Google. So what did the company have to say for itself in the face of these pretty alarming findings?
Well, in their official response, Google made a few key points. They said that, look, the vast majority of these AI overviews are accurate. They also argued that many of the bad examples being shared were from incomplete screenshots. Plus, they stressed that their AI always links out to reputable sources, it tells people to seek professional medical advice, and that its accuracy is basically on par with other features they've had for years, like featured snippets.
So after hearing all of that, the investigation, the scary examples, and Google's defense, what does this all mean for you? How are we supposed to navigate this new world of AI-powered search?
Here is the bottom line, the most important thing to remember. These AI tools can be an amazing starting point. They're great for getting a quick lay of the land on a topic, but they are absolutely positively not a substitute for a real, trained human expert, especially when we're talking about something as important as your health.
So how can we all search a little smarter? It's pretty simple, really. Step 1, treat that AI summary as a starting point, not the final authority. Step 2, always, always, always verify the info. Click the links, check the original sources, see where the information actually came from. And step 3, the most important one, for anything to do with your health, your finances, or your safety, the conversation needs to end with a qualified human professional. Period.
Look, this technology is not slowing down. These tools are only going to get more powerful, more convincing, and more woven into our daily lives. This whole investigation isn't just about one search feature. It's a wake-up call. It reminds us that as our tech gets smarter, the pressure is on us to become wiser users. So the real question we're left with is, how do we make sure our own critical thinking can keep up?